Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. So happy to have some time with you today. It's Tuesday, in case you needed that. I am so excited for today's show. It is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful inspiration, really, for me. And this conversation today really came about just because I was reading social media posts and saw that this happened, and it just was so aligned with everything that the YWCA works with that I thought it was a great opportunity to share with all of you. As you know, YWTV is all about keeping everybody engaged and inspired. It started obviously because of us living in this strange time, but really has flourished into just a wonderful community and opportunity of sharing. So with that, I'm excited to tell you and introduce you, first of all, to J.R.M.S Ryan, who is a dad and a musician. And he is from Montclair. And he, in his own, space of trying to tackle some of the big issues that are happening around us right now, specifically bigotry and fear, trying to figure out what to do about it. And I happened to read the story about what, he and his daughter created. And again, thought that it so perfectly highlighted the mission of the YWCA of eliminating racism and empowering women. And with that, of course, supporting the development of young women and girls. And, just the fact that it really reminds me, and I think it will remind all of you after we talk about it, how much power we each have and how there's so much we can do in our own space. Whatever your comfort zone is, you just have to, embrace that. So with that, before we jump into everything, let me introduce J.R.M.S. And J.R.M.S daughter is Madison Sky. And so J.R.M.S, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and then and how you brought your daughter into this project, and then what the project was, and then we'll keep chatting from there.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you, Helen, for having me here, and the YWCA as well, and your mission. Thank you for reaching out to us. We're very honored to be on the show. But yeah, my name is J.R.M.S Ryan again. My daughter, Madison Sky. We put a little duet thing together, like you said, over the difficult time here we had in our own space during COVID. So we decided to create a children's album, and it got some good dad-daughter quality time as well, and got that released. My background is music production and songwriting. I do a lot of that, placing music and songs, soundtrack songs, movies, and with artists and labeled and unlabeled. But yeah, that's the background. I'm here at Montclairian as well, just like everyone else, hopefully that are watching, and more outspread New Jersey here. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about what I'm doing.
So so you have this background in music, and obviously we're living in this time, between the pandemic and, all of the kind of racial tensions that have, hit an all-time high. How did your kind of worlds intersect that you thought to go from, what you were seeing and what you do to kind of creating this project?
So my daughter and I, we when she has issues herself, I try to explain things to her that she can understand, or maybe if it's a subject in school that she's just not grasping, I would write a song about it. I would write and then I would record it, and then we would sing it together. And then later on and later down the line, when somebody mentions it, she can go through those lyrics in her head and she would know the answer. And that's how, that's how her and I, that's how I teach, I guess, but same with this concept here. Everything that's been going on. I'm a huge basketball fan, NBA, and they're big in advocating for the BLM and all this social injustice and things like that. So she sees this on television. She sees it in the street. She sees it hears it on the radio, on the television. Appears outside. She'll see signs, Black Lives Matters, and things like that. So her being 9 years old, she doesn't understand everything. So how do I explain it? without, I don't know, instilling like fear itself into her as well, because, it's very scary, things that are happening around the world that we're not in control of. And it's very sad. And, so putting an album together, like I said, being in COVID, we wanted to do something. I wanted to do a children's album. My buddy John Sampson won a Grammy last year for Best Children's Album. So it really kind of, inspired me to, because I've always wanted to do it with my children. I have an 18-year-old that we've been recording since she was 5 years old. So I've always been writing children's lyrics and writing songs like this. But with my daughter here, we had the time. She's old enough. She understood. She loves to sing. She loves to watch me work in the studio. She's helped me before. She's recorded before, like I said, with, other learning, things of learning ways of songs. So I wanted to put what we're dealing with and what children deals with, what she deals with, what I deal with into words as well. And I thought that the meaning, the message would inspire, beyond just her as well. And having her get on it would include us having our good quality time. And while we record, she would ask questions about some of the lyrics that I had as well. And I can, go on from there and explain, so that's pretty much how, it began, all the stuff that's happening right now in the world. She's seeing, I don't know how to express it, so I wrote it so she understand it. That's pretty much, long story short. So.
That's great. And I think it really shows as parents, and, I'm a parent as well, so I can relate to this. I mean, we all feel limited, in terms of how to share and explain what's going on around us, because we don't understand, some of it, or it doesn't jive well, with our own thinking, and, we want to see changes. So I think it's wonderful that, you have this way, that the two of you communicate, and that you've used it to address these really, serious issues and make meaning for her. So can you talk us through so you wrote the songs, or did you guys write the songs together? Like, what was the process of putting the album together like over this time?
Yeah, so I wrote most of the lyrics. So it's rap verses and singing choruses. I would rap the verses to tell more of a story, and she would sing the choruses just, to give the melody, right? And then I would create the music, and then she would give the final approval. She comes in and she'll tweak. If she doesn't like the words, or she doesn't like something, she doesn't like the melody, she'll tweak it and say, I want it this way. And then I would make a beat. She would say, no, I don't want that one. I'd make another beat. Okay, that one. So she'd choose. So she has final say in all the project. But yes, majority of the writing I did. And it wasn't just about the social injustice issues and the Black Lives Matters. It was about like anxiety and fear, exposure and restlessness, and just bullying as well in general, like overall, because children are bullied all the time. So, but it was it was a good time to embrace that and give a voice, I guess, for the voiceless, that I could play my part on. I can't nowhere near understand how any body that is being treated poorly and unfairly in this world, because of the color of their skin. I can't, but how I can help, explain that to my daughter is how I tried to within these songs, so.
So what kind of, so since you, and I love that she was such an active part in shaping the sound, it sounds like, but since you wrote the lyrics and she was singing them with you, what kind of discussions did you guys end up, kind of examining the topics and the conversations? What did that kind of unfold into in your recording sessions?
Yeah, so her and I, we sat down and we came up with a topic of what we wanted to relay, which was, helping people that are dealing with, different situations. And then we came up with titles, and we made a list about 15 or 16 different titles of which are subjects that we wanted to talk about. And then, of course, we narrowed them down to the 8 songs, which we released on the one album. But how, we discussed, situations that she had in school, situations that she's had with her friends, her family, on, her, my situations with, some anxiety that, I've dealt with, this pandemic, being inside, not being able to get outside, being enclosed, not being able to touch anyone, grandma, things like that. So, we spoke about that a lot. And, so, we were happy enough that we can get some features on this album, which was two of her classmates from school and two of her cousins on it as well. We had them send in recordings and we threw them on the record as well. So, she was really excited about doing that. So, but it was a good conversations that we've had back and forth, writing. And again, like I said, she didn't like it, she would scrap it and make me rewrite. So she knew what she wanted, for sure.
Well, I think that's an important part of developing a young woman. I would say in our work at the YWCA, and I love that this process kind of helped her find her, way, and also, helped with her feeling, more self-esteem and more assurance, in herself. And that's exactly the kind of projects that we espouse at the YW for young women, for sure. So tell me, when you look back at the album now as a finished product, is there a particular song or a particular moment, in the making of the process that really stands out for you as being something that you'll always look back on for the two of you?
Yes. I mean, all the songs are special. All the songs are special to me because, we did them together. We had that quality time that we got to spend together to write them, to record them, to teach her how to record them. And, just the frustrations on, getting the notes and things like that. I saw her grow, doing this album, which was fantastic. I haven't been more proud of her, getting through this. And I mean, it was just an incredible experience. But yeah, so she definitely had her way with it. And I was happy with the fact that she suggested that she could have a solo. And so I guess those would two. So in order to be fair, she said that I can have a solo if she can have a solo, because I wanted to be on the song with her every single time. So, but yeah, so she demanded that, and I gave it to her. And that one, I guess, is the most that I'm most proud of, and that's the one that I remember the most because she sings it by herself. It's a full-blown production that I brought in a couple of other music specialists. Phil Silverberg and Mark Dollar and Cooper Anderson came in on that project as well, and we really blew it up. And it's about love being at its highest. Not in one particular way. It's just overall and how you can express love in many different ways you can, and how feeling love, from a mother, a father, grandparent, a friend, things like that. But she took that role. She took the lead. She sang the entire thing, and it's all singing. There's no rapping in it. And it's a ballad. It's a power ballad. And that one right there brought a tear to my eye when I heard that finished product. So I guess that's the one that I can say that I look back on.
That's great. That's amazing. And when, now that it's done and she's, talks about it, what are some of the things that she says about the project now after the fact, versus, as you were going through it, right. The kind of hindsight 2020.
Yeah. So she's, her favorite songs on this, on the album are Bully and Off to School. Mm-hmm. So Bully obviously explains itself, self-explanatory, talking about situations, how you can get off, doing the right thing, being bullied and people, but the reason she likes that one the most is because her two classmates are on that. Mm-hmm. So Cole and Murphy, they got on there and to sing the chorus with her. So she loves that. She'll play it every second of the day. She'll be like, hey Siri or hey Alexa, play Bully by J.R.M.S. and she'll just, she'll jam to it. And of course, Off to School, that's her favorite one that she talks about as well, because that's her two cousins that sing to that as well in the choruses, or in the bridge section of that song. That just explains, having fun, getting up, first day steps, going through, making breakfast, packing your backpack, lunchbox, get on the bus, sitting down, give a teacher to the apple, and then going through the whole day of school and your friends, things like that. So, and so that was a good experience. Like, that was a more fun, upbeat, and we got to talk about subjects in her school that she does and things like that. And the Gaga pit that they have in the back of the school ground, and things like that, just that she knows, like that are inside jokes, that not inside jokes, but inside little messages that, her peers and her classmates will understand because, that's our school, that's us. So those are two of her favorite songs, just because he has the features. When it's my solo, she'll skip that one. She'll be like, let's move on. I mean, although it's a good one. And see, the solo that I chose was about friendship. So basically, the concept of that was me giving her advice on friendship. And how good friends are and what they mean, and to hold on to those friendships because, they don't come around very often. And, you want to hold on to those. And I try to explain that, through the message. So she didn't have to be on it. I was talking to her per se in the song to her basically. So that's how I came about my solo. So, but she loved the beat. She picked out that beat too. So it was a pass. It was good. It was a go. So.
That's great. That's so great. As I started and I shared, when I read about this, I was struck because I think that, these are very challenging times and for all of us, no matter what age you're at. But I do think that, when we're trying to manage explaining this stuff to kids and helping them work through it, it's so hard sometimes to find the words to do that. And I also feel like so many of us want to do something. I mean, we see things happening around us that are unfair and wrong, and we want to take action, but everyone doesn't always know how to do that. So I love that you were inspired to use your talents and your tools and your skills that you had, and then kind of parlay it into something different, to be able to make an impact.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking about other parents and other kids that are watching and are feeling that same stirring. I want to do something, but may not, know how and what to do. What advice would you have for them to kind of go that next step with that feeling?
Well, I'm probably the worst person to ask that because the only way I can get things out is through songs. So every parent in the world, learn how to write a song and teach your kids. That's the best I can do. Write a song, sing it to them. Write a song, rap it to them. Make it dance it to them. Make a video. Be creative. Give them something to want to learn. Why they want to learn. They want to be happy. They want to smile about it. So whatever you can do to, whatever your talent is, just bring that out and implement that and sell it to them that way. I guess that's the best advice.
Wow, I think that's great advice. So what are your next plans with this? Obviously you got the album together. Is there plans to do more with it, or a follow-up album, or take the album to do other projects with it?
So this album we have already submitted to the Grammys for the best children's album, and for category, and we are waiting to hear back by the end of this month whether or not we made the first round ballot.
Very cool.
Yeah, so fingers crossed, and if we do make the first round ballot, then we'll be throwing out some for your consideration flyers and trying to get all those NARS Grammy voting members to give us a little check mark and get us off to that nomination and get us to the Grammys.
Has there been any thought on your part? I mean, obviously she's in the school district, and as you said, there's so many parts to this album that are relatable for kids locally and probably kids nationally, because so much of that stuff is relatable anywhere. Is there a thought to do like other components of this to use it to help teach kids in a different way? I mean, it's just sounds so important what you've done, the way you've done it.
Yeah. So I want to outreach as many people as I can. Obviously, the highest award would be getting recognized by the Recording Academy, right? And that would be taking home a Grammy. But that doesn't mean success for everybody. Success for me is that my daughter understood it. And if we can reach more people or more children, no matter what the age, it's for younger and older generation. Just to get what we're trying to say. I mean, yes, I want to. I have plans for other situations. There's a couple of mentions that I throw in a couple of songs. I know that in one of her songs called "Restless," I throw in Alexa, which is the echoes, the echo. And so I know that that particular song, which I mentioned to them, I'm planning on sending them the song to maybe we can pitch for a commercial. To raise awareness to kids that have trouble sleeping, because the song's called "Restless." And like Alexa, can play my favorite lullaby, the playlist. That's like the end of the tagline of the lyric of the verse. So maybe we can do an outreach for children that's having trouble, having restlessness. Maybe our own playlist on Alexa where you can and do like a cross promotion with that, and maybe outreach a little bit more of art there as well. There's stuff with the PTA. I'm very involved with the PTA here in Essex County as well, and like the whole Essex County, not just Montclair, but and with my local unit. But yeah, I mean, even with the superintendent here in town and the school districts, we want to spread the word and we want to get the message out. So a lot of them are on board sharing it too. So they're going to be sending it out to parents and, but yeah, collaborations and getting the songs on and placements and things like that, I think would be good. I mean, I'm not going to steer as far as, Disney or Nickelodeon. They do a lot of their own writing and production. They own everything. It's like in-house with those people. Right. Yeah, so we're the independent artists, on the outside trying to break through, the major label status, so yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of options ahead, and it's nice that you're engaging the community and the school district, to be part of the effort as well. I'm thinking about the importance of the arts in the schools and how they've really taken such a hit. With the budgets the way that they've been, and what's clear in this conversation is that this has become a real outlet to support your daughter and her friends, by using the arts, the process of creating it, then having it after the fact to listen to it. What are some ways, and your thoughts, I guess, a little bit about our districts and how we can better support cementing and strengthening, the need for these, these opportunities, because they are so, sometimes they are, people spend a lot of time in therapy and, other ways to try to deal with things, but using, some of these creative therapies are so much more impactful and move things along.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned before, like with my solid advice that I gave to all the parents, how to, explain to children, using it, using the arts to express it, to teach it, I think would be, I think it's strong because, it gives children and young people, just something to smile about. They're like, because when I see it in my daughter's eyes, when I see it in my own daughter's eyes, when I play a song, or if I see her, when I play back that what she just recorded and I touched it up a little bit, and now she's just like, whoa, things like that. When they see the creative come to life, like what they just did, that just inspires them more. That hey, maybe I could do more. But it's you're right. Money's been taken out of our arts because they don't think it's too, or too important. It's just, that's sad. But art, music, theater, acting, and all of that stuff, especially here in Montclair. We're just the most eclectic town in New Jersey. I think we are built around art here in Montclair. Whether every other person I know is either a musician, television actor, an artist,
writer.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just something. So if we can give if we can use and utilize, you know, our ability to, you know, if we can use our art to teach, I mean, that would be the best. That's the best way to go. I mean, for me personally, you know, but you know, not a lot of, I mean, unfortunately, not a lot of people see it that way, and I'm not in the politics, so I can't make that change, you know.
Well, sometimes it's the people that aren't in politics that make the most impact. So your album may be, you know, may be part of that. So I appreciate that you made the time to talk to us today. And I, again, just love what you guys have done together. I love everything about it on so many levels. And for those of you watching and want to hear more, we're going to have links and have been posting links here in the chat so that you can get the album and hear it and support this effort and spread the word. And, you know, we're going to stay in touch with Jeremy and with Madison and to see, you know, where they go from here and what's next.
Yes.
So as we close out,
yes. Said, sorry she couldn't be here. She's in school, so
yeah,
she sends her.
Yes, understand that part, and we, you know, we hope that at another time, you know, we'll get to meet her. But I'm so glad that you were able to be here and share. So tell us, parent to parent, as I know I'm dealing with it too. How's remote school going for you guys this year?
Well, much better than spring, I tell you that. You know, because it's more one-on-one. You know, the teacher's actually on the screen this time.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all more independent than you know how we ended the year last year. But I mean, it's going well. I mean, fortunately, I'm able to be home. You know, I can make the schedule so I can be hands-on. I know a lot of parents can't do that. And you know that, and it's, you know, it's very stressful and, you know, and things. But for me, you know, it's going well. You know, we have the electronics at home. She has her iPad. We have our home computer, so she's able to do the work and get the work done. And you know, but I mean, she loves it. As soon as she sees her friends, and then she can meet her new teachers. Obviously, she wants to go visit. She wants to have play dates. She can't wait to have another sleepover. You know, it's hard to explain, you know, the reason why we can't do that right now. But you know, she's understanding and she's doing okay. But yeah, we're using our music to get through it.
Well, whatever it takes, that's wonderful. Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys are getting through, and we'll be watching to see what comes next for you guys. I feel a follow-up album and some videos and who knows what else.
Thank you, Helen. I appreciate you, YWCA, and of course, YWTV. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, we're so glad you could be here. And for those of you watching, again, we'll have links here so that you can get back and get connected with Jeremy and Madison and their amazing work and the work that they're doing. And I do hope that this inspires you. I know sometimes people feel helpless with the things that are happening around them, whether it's the bullying or whether it's, you know, some of the anxiety because of the way that we're living right now, or you know, the racial tensions and the bigotry in our society, and feeling like you want to do something but don't know what to do. I think this was such a wonderful message that, you know, we all have a way to support and share, and, you know, just do what you know, and, you know, and stay rooted in that, and that you can make a difference and make an impact. So I love that. And with all of that, couple of reminders for our viewers. One, if you have not already signed up for our 21-day Racial Equity and Social Justice Challenge, we have over 600 people in our area that are doing it right now for 21 days. We're sending you emails to educate you on social equity and social justice. I'm sorry, racial equity and social justice, and, you know, educate you on and how to learn and unlearn things that we know so that we can be better allies and activists and support creating equality in our communities. It's an email that comes to you with a reading or a podcast and a little reflection. And again, it's an interpersonal journey that we encourage you all to go on. And hopefully it will inspire collective impact like what Jeremy and his daughter are doing. So we do encourage you to sign up for that. The link will be in the comments. The 21 days starts whenever you sign up. So please make a point because we really are looking to deal with issues of race, power, privilege, and leadership in our communities, and you can be part of that. the countdown to election day, we're, I think, 43 days, 42 days, something in that realm. November 3rd, you need to make sure the voting is happening now here in New Jersey. It's not waiting till election day because of the way we're living with the pandemic and voting by mail in New Jersey. We'll be having an upcoming show talking about voting by mail to make sure that you know all the details of that. But all you have to do is register at go to vote.org, and the details for your area. Yeah, there's the link. Jeremy's got us covered. Make sure you go and learn how to vote safely and get your votes counted. And with all of that, today is National Registration Day. So if you're not registered to vote, today is the day to do that. It is a nonpartisan civic holiday celebrating our democracy. We, each year try to encourage everyone to get out and register who is not registered. And you can easily get information on that by going to nationalvoterregistrationday.org also. So upcoming this week, again on Wednesday, tomorrow, we'll be talking with voter protocol, how to vote by mail in New Jersey. We'll be happy to have our superintendent of elections, Patty DiCostanzo, Teresa O'Connor, the deputy superintendent, and Jamie Sheehan, the chairwoman of Board of Elections in Bergen County, are going to be joining us to talk about how to do it. And it doesn't matter what county you live in, the process is going to be the same. The places are going to be different, but we'll have all the links for you to go get that information. And on Thursday, join us for our Share the Mic Now project, where we're working to amplify the voices of Black women in our community so that you can, we can learn and engage and grow. And we'll be having personality, Natalie McKenzie, and she'll be sharing about her thoughts on systemic racism and implicit bias and ways that we can make an impact in our community. And stay tuned, more great stuff coming on YWTV from there too. Jeremy, thank you again so much. And thank you for being, we say the ultimate feminist is, not only all of the women that are working for the cause, but all the men, that are standing up for the women as well. The same way we know that we're not going to end racism till white people stand with Black people and all people of color stand together as well. We also know that we're not going to make the changes we need to see for women unless the men stand with us. So thank you for being one of those men.
I'm proud to be a girl dad.
Yes, we love that. We love that. And everyone stay well during this time. And thanks again for spending some time with us this day. Be well.